name is Donnalee Donaldson. I am the country director for the Rwanda office of Educate. Educate is a social enterprise NGO that partners with governments that are seeking to reform education systems, to change the way that teachers teach, and ultimately to improve the livelihoods of the youth. I am originally from Jamaica, but as I said, I now live in Rwanda. The backstory is I was born and raised in Jamaica. I went to university and law school in the US, got scholarships for both of my degrees, which is how I was able to go. And then I practiced law in New York and ultimately decided that I wanted to do something different, move somewhere else, but keep on doing work in the public sector. And at the time, a good Ghanaian friend of mine, who's still a very dear friend, who I had gone to university with, she actually was really encouraging me to come to Ghana with her because she wanted to move back home. And she gave a message that many of us have heard about the need for the sons and daughters of the diaspora to come back to the continent and really be a part of building 21st century Africa. And she really sold me on it very well, but I was really convicted about wanting to make sure I had a job first before I came. And so I didn't find what I was looking for in Ghana at the time, but I did find a really great opportunity in Rwanda, and that was over 5 years ago, and I'm still in Rwanda today. So it seems like things have been working out well. So I've been able to continue working in the education sector in Rwanda, which I'm really happy about. I first came to work with an organization called Kepler, and working with that organization, I was one of the founding team members. We actually started a university in Kigali, which is still there today and which is flourishing and doing very well. We also created the first university in a refugee camp in Rwanda. And so that's another project that also continues to run, and we have great support to keep that going, and there's lots of great staff now keeping that mission going. For me, it was really important to do work with the government because I'm a big believer in systems level change. That's why I went to law school in the first place, and so that's why I made the transition to the work I'm doing now, which is more about supporting reforms across the entire education system, not just in one school. Oh no, I went through many choices. My mother's a chemistry teacher, was a chemistry teacher for 40 years, so I grew up definitely thinking I was going to go to med school. I was a chemistry honors student in university, actually, for the first 2.5 or so years. But what happened was I really loved the theory of chemistry, but I hated the labs. And so the more advanced you get as a science major, you end up spending 12, 18, 20 hours of your week just in the lab, and I just did not like it. I was finding the theory, didn't like the labs, and so I had to figure out what was I going to do if I didn't really enjoy that. By that point, I had picked up English as a second major because I really love languages. Love reading all the books, writing all the critical essays and all of that. And so I had English as a kind of a backup major, and once I switched completely out of sciences, I picked up social science as a second one. So I graduated with majors in English and social and behavioral sciences. From that, I knew I wanted to do policy change. Coming out of various experiences I had, I interned at a lot of different places, and I kind of landed on this idea of wanting to do changes in government policies. And so that's where the desire to go to law school came from. Wow, it doesn't require a lot of initiative. I think that part really throws the question off because I think the tough problems do require a lot of collaboration to solve. In fact, I think sometimes we are too disengaged, like we're leaving problems to be solved by somebody else instead of taking the responsibility. And I think all of us have a part to play. So I don't really think there are simple solutions, but I think there are solutions that could be simple actually if everybody did a small piece of them. So one example of that is closing the gaps that relate to social inequality. So that very wide margin between the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, right? I'm sure we've all heard some statistics about how 20% of the world has 80% of the wealth and things of that nature. And so it really should not be that hard for us to do some amount of wealth redistribution. Not saying that we should take away what people earn, right? But we also know realistically if somebody has Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett's level of wealth, or they're never going to spend it in their lifetime.